The mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani, when he was running for mayor, he basically said he wanted to arrest Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he ever stepped foot in New York City, like during the UN General Assembly. Now that he's mayor, he said he is basically talking to legal and stuff to see if he can do it.
Wow.
The problem is he doesn't have the power, even if he wanted to arrest him, to extradite because only the federal government can do it. And for also obvious reasons, they wouldn't even do it, mainly because President Trump would not allow it. And also, leaders have diplomatic immunity. And then finally, yeah, but yeah, it's really stupid. And yeah, I want to see what your take on this and everyone else's take on this.
So I mean, it's not even his responsibility. He has no power, like as the mayor, to do anything like this. Like people should be, New Yorkers should be really angry. Like, what are you even doing? That's not your job. Like, why are you wasting? I mean, honestly, the people who voted for him probably like this, but I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But it's embarrassing. It's not even part of. It's not even his. It's not even part of his responsibility to even comment on stuff like this. And obviously, this is not going to go anywhere. But Noah, here's the thing: his views and his takes are growing in United States, right? So what I'm what we need to be defending against is like not getting to a position where there are more people like Mamdani, not just as a mayor, not in just in the city halls of different cities, but then in Congress and Senate. You know, in the previous stream, Monkey and I were watching the YouTube video, a video from Linda Sarsour demonstrating how effective they have been to get people from the Palestinian cause, the Mamdani type people, into Congress, into Senate. So at some point, if these movements, if the Nick Fuentes types from the right and Mamdanis from the left keep growing, at some point we might get actually to a position where it becomes official policy of the United States that, yeah, if the prime minister of Israel comes into United States, they will arrest them. Like, I'm not saying, I don't want to fearmonger though. Like, I don't see that being likely, but even if it's a small percentage, that is, that is too high. Even if there's a 5% chance for that happening, it's crazy that we live in a world where that there's a 5% chance for that happening in the United States, right? And it's embarrassing actually that this is even something that we should consider as a potential for the future of United States. So again, but Amu Jeff was saying, this is an invasion from within, and it's only started. This is only just the beginning phase of it. A lot of people are not worried because they look at the percentage of the population and they're like, oh, these people are a low percentage of the population. Well, look what they have been able to achieve with just that low of a percentage. So if this is what you're getting with 5%, imagine if you get to 13% or 15%. They're going to change not just the completely the politics of the United States, but the rest of the world. Imagine when we get to a position where the superpower on the planet is 15% affected by the most garbage ideas out there. The whole world would be a worse place, especially given that these people vote much more aggressively. They're much more politically active and they vote as a bloc. So if they get to 15%, their effect would be something closer to 30%. Any any citizen that votes in a voting block and is more politically active has more, like 10 times the effect of a citizen that doesn't. So they could basically completely derail the politics of the United States, even with small percentages. So this should be a major alarm for every American and honestly everyone else. Here's one thing that a lot of people around the world have realized is that they don't even get to vote for American politicians, but their lives is more influenced by American politicians that they have no say in, sometimes more than the politicians that they do have a say in, right? So they are like looking at America as like, please vote for your vote impacts us as well. We don't get a vote, so you guys better vote. I don't think Americans, many Americans, understand how much power they have simply because they're American. So much of the world doesn't have a say in who American politicians are, and their lives are completely impacted by it. And American citizens don't under so many of them don't know the power that they have in deciding the future of civilization as a whole, and they don't use it. They don't use it. It's a big thing. Being an American citizen is a much bigger deal than some Americans understand. I wish they did, and I wish they used it more responsibly.
You're,
Go on, Noah.
you're absolutely right, Armin, and that's why the community that you put together here is so important because we can discuss, debate, and challenge these extreme ideas so that the right ones can get through. So 100% Armin.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeffrey, part two.
If you take a look at history, the Nazi Party, prior to being elected, constituted 1.3% of the German population, just prior to the party taking power. That's like official figures. 1.3%. So Armin's not wrong. Those actors or demographics that vote in a homogenized bloc and or are politically mobilized and activated can have disproportional impact. For in the 1932 Reichstag election, with 1.3% of the German population, I think they obtained 37%. So 20 to 30, 25 to 30 times the formal membership share. And that's what our enemies have figured out. Right? I also want to add a caveat to that. Obviously, the United States is in many ways a nation of immigrants. That said, there is a certain social contract that comes with that. It was very brilliantly defined by the late President Teddy Roosevelt's letter on immigration. He said something akin to the fact that we should extend to the immigrant all the rights and responsibilities enjoyed by American citizens, provided that they immigrate here in good faith, that they identify solely as being American. They fly one flag, the American flag. They speak our language and support our government. We cannot afford to have a nation of squabbling principalities. Right? That's what it says on the money, e pluribus unum, out of many one. America is a melting pot, not a salad bowl. That also refers operationally what was talked about yesterday on the show. Of course, there are different cultures within the border of Iran. That said, and those cultures have both moral and operational utility. It's exactly why the Track 2 Material Support was set up the way it was. Within the broader context of them all identifying as being Iranian. And that's something that Armin had mentioned. And it's true, right? Gary, Dr. Gary, he sometimes comes here, he's a sweet guy. We actually talked about this. How do you ensure in taking down the regime remnants that you don't have Iran fragment into like sectarian conflict? Well, that's because Iranians have a deep sense of broader national identity of being Iranian, within which they have their own additional identity underneath that. It's kind of like Americans from New York City have their own independent, localized culture to say Americans in LA. That said, they all identify as being American. Like Jose's culture and background is not the same as mine. We both identify as being American. So I just wanted to add that as a caveat to the overall warning that's there. It's very true. Our enemies absolutely use it, including the Islamic fundamentalists. All one need do, well, hell, you know Brigitte Gabriel, you and Goldie. She actually was a part of the guys who were supporting the efforts to take down the Holy Land Foundation after it was busted as being a front organization for the Muslim Brotherhood as the unindicted co-conspirator. Yeah, I know Brigitte, sharp, brave lady. So is Rosalia Netti, too. They're all good ladies. So one of the things that was entered in it by the FBI is Exhibit 21, 27, against the Holy Land Foundation was the Muslim Brotherhood's long-term strategic plan in the United States, and it talked about a socio-cultural and demographic jihad, all valid. So the question becomes, how do you do that without violating the other core element that defines America? Well, I think Teddy Roosevelt said that best, didn't he? I think that Iranians provide a contemporary exogenous example of e pluribus unum. Yeah, Baha'i is not the same as, somebody in Guam is not the same as Tehran. They have their own local customs. That said, they all identify as being Iranian.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. And I have one more response from Sherry.
Harmon, I'm pushing back on you, baby. I don't usually do this. But you correct me if I'm wrong, but your comment was, imagine what it's like for the rest of the world to deal with the US being in charge and making their own
No,
decisions. And
no, that's not
imagine
what
what
I.
it's like for the rest of the world to deal with the US playing police state and this, that, and the other thing. You want to repeat what you said just so that I
No,
make
no,
sure
no,
that I'm
no.
addressing what you
No,
said.
no, no. I wasn't saying that something wrong, like the Americans are doing something wrong to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is poor. Oh, boo hoo hoo, poor the rest of the world, that they're being policed by America. In fact, I think the rest of the world should be grateful for America because it's the American taxpayers who are providing the resources for the security, not just the resources, but the lives of American servicemen. The whole world is benefiting from Americans providing security globally, right? So with that, so they shouldn't have a say because they're not paying for it. They shouldn't have a say because they're not, I mean, they shouldn't have a vote because they're not paying for it in lives or in their tax money. It's American citizens who should have a say. The rest of the world is getting a lot of benefit for it because the Americans are everywhere with their military and providing safety and stability. And it wouldn't be reasonable for you to, now you're getting free American security and you're not paying anything for it, and you want to have a say in it too. I'm not suggesting that at all. What I'm saying is the Americans need to value the fact that they have the power to influence that amazing power that United States has, right? Because when I'm saying that the rest of the world doesn't get a say, even though it affects them, because they're not contributing to it. If you were contributing, like, I wasn't saying that was unfair. They don't get a say. That's true. We have to watch it. That we don't have get a say that much. We have to watch what the Americans decide. But there's a good reason why they don't get a say, because the Americans are paying. The Americans are working, and they are paying for it. Obviously, they are the ones who have to get, they get a say. But now that you do have a, now that as an American you do have a say, then what I'm suggesting is then use that, because you're paying a lot for it. So I, as an Iranian Canadian, I don't get a say. I don't have a vote, and I shouldn't have a vote. I'm not complaining. But given that you, as an American, you have a vote, I just want people to understand that the reason why you have a vote is because you are paying so much for it, and it's very valuable. So make sure you use it. That's what I was suggesting. Does that make sense, Sherry?
Makes absolutely 100% sense. I'm sorry, I heard what you said. I don't think that I understood the content and the intention that you were saying, because
Yes.
my response was like exactly the same thing you were saying. It's like, yeah, don't expect me to foot your freaking bill all the damn time, because it's frustrating for American citizens to be footing a bill for so many things going on around the world, and it's just ridiculous. We're not able to take care of our own veterans, which is literally what our system is supposed to be set up on doing. Once you serve in the military, et cetera, you're supposed to be taken care of. And we don't do that. But yeah, we're going to take care of the Haitians. We're going to take care of this. So, yeah, no, I appreciate what you said. I just I heard it I heard it different than you were saying, and I apologize for that. But yeah, no, I'm 100% interested in the American people having a say, and I do understand where other powerful countries feel like they don't have a say, but at the same time, they're not pulling their weight. So, f them.
I mean, by the way, don't apologize because I didn't. It's probably me not explaining it well, right? But but the citizens of other countries, if they do want to have a say, then they should make their country prosperous so that they have a lot of resources, so they could use their resources in having big ass militaries, and they could participate in providing global security and stability. And when they come in their table on the table helping Americans provide global security, then they will have more of a say. So the more you're contributing to the global security, the more of a say you're going to have. And your say will be through your votes for your politicians, obviously.
Okay, and then I have one more too from Cat Lady.
You said my name? I just coughed
Cat-
at the exact same time.
No,
Yes,
it's not.
yes,
It's
yes.
Cat
Okay.
Meowski. Yes.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
I did not say your name, but I did call on you.
Yes.
Thank you. So about Mamdani, yeah, he's not going to do it. I heard actually his interview, it's an audio clip, and he's saying, I would love to do that, but if it's not in accordance with the law, then of course I have no wish to change the law. And of course, he's not going to do this. And about the mindset is growing, these opinions are growing. Yes, and just to give you one anecdotal thing, not from New York, but from London, a flight from Israel, which is a Israeli flight company, not El Al, a different one, was delayed and then canceled because a service car hit the plane. But it's the third time at the same place in Luton that a service car hit an Israel aircraft. So they're now thinking that it's on a it's a leumani in Hebrew, so it's maybe on an ethnic ground or whatever. How would you call that? I'm not sure. Or national, actually, it would be. So, but also on the other hand, I saw a couple of videos of people from New York in which some pro-Palestinians came to harass them and were filming and what are you doing buying in this place and stuff like that. And those Americans were not shy. They got out of the car and they told them, you should be deported. Yes, I love Israelis, they said. And these were like white Americans, not particularly, not like army guys and everything, regular guys, just were fearless. And they said, just wait, just wait. Like, I don't know, they were I was proud of them. Yeah, so fucked up world, I guess.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.